Okay, I'm going to take a second today to try and explain to you the 62 looping using the hold echo function. Now, a few things to be able to explain here. There's a couple of different approaches you can take. So what I'll explain is how I use it, because there are like 3 options of on and off buttons for the looping. Okay, now first of all, the settings we're looking to achieve. We turn the echo effect on. Now we have to make sure that it's set to hold echo. Okay, now the way we do this is that we hold the echo button itself, and we move the beat dial up and down until it gets to hold echo. So if your 62 doesn't say hold echo, move this dial, hold the echo button, move this dial up and down, and you'll see it changes to different types of echoes. Okay, so hold echo is what we want. Now, then you leave the echo effect on, and then you turn on the actual effect itself, like leaving the effect arm on, and then you turn the dial of depth all the way up to 10. Now, from this point, with these settings on, effect on, the effect on here, the effect on here, and the depth dial up the whole way, we now use the individual flex effects arms as our loop on and off controls. Now, something to take note here is that the BPM is set to 98. Now, if I was wanting to do a loop with this tune, like 98 is in fact the BPM of the thing that I've left on this side, which is just a little beatbox bit. Oh, it's in a loop, sorry. Okay, now that's 98 BPM, but if we wanted to loop from that and then loop a bit from this side as well, or that we wanted to change the track digitally, which changed the BPM of the record that was on this side, as soon as we press the Flex FX arm again, it changes the BPM. So look, I'm going to press the Flex FX arm for the other side and see that it changes instantly the BPM. Now, if you do that whilst you're looping, it will change the loop length, and so you'll lose your loop length. It will go out of time. Now, to be able to counteract that, you can set a BPM to start with, then you can press down, like not toggle down, but pressing down on the beat switch. Now that makes the BPM flash, which locks the BPM. Now that means that when you press the Flex Effects button arm again, it won't change the BPM, like the BPM stays at what it's set at. Okay, so that is the first instance of locking the BPM. Sometimes you might need to use this and sometimes you don't. It will be performance specific to what you're doing with it. Okay, now, so first and foremost, then going to lock the BPM thusly, as I've just explained to you, and then we're going to try and do some looping now. Oh, sorry, one thing I just missed. This figure here shows 1 to 1 as a ratio. You can change this ratio to change what you're looping. Now, in order to be able to start this off, there's a number of ways you can do this. I'm going to start off on 1-1. 1-1 means 1 beat of 1-4-4. 4-1 means 4 beats of 1-4-4, so on. So like 4-1 is 1 bar, 16-1 is 1-4-4 bar. Okay? So starting off on 1-1, I find for myself it's usually good to start with a hi-hat, but you can do this in any approach you want. So here's a quick little go with how you'd loop using this sample here. So I'm starting off with a hi-hat. Now I leave the Flex Effects button off to be able to demo it. and then when I want to record, when I'm happy, with the sound of it, then I press the Flex FX arm, and then the next time I do it, it loops. Now I turn the Flex FX off again if I want to demo my sound, my next sound. But first of all, I'm going to switch this ratio 1:1 to 4:1. Now that gives me a full 1 bar. Now from that point, I'm then going to add in a kick and a snare. So let's add the kick in first. And as I say, Flex FX off so we can demo it. And so when I'm happy with it, I can put the Flex FX back on. So I'll turn it off again to demo the snare. So on again. Okay, so now I've got a loop on there. What I'm wanting to do now though is I've got my mate who's recorded a separate bass part. Now I'm going to take this bass loop, put it onto here. Because I've already locked the BPM and you see the BPM is flashing, it now will not change the BPM once I've rearmed the Flex FX here. So now it's a new sound and it will let me loop. Now also what I'm going to do for the purposes of this, because I want a longer bass line, is to change it to 16:1, which without any gap transfers the recorded information of your 4/4 bar and re-records it onto a full of your 1 bar and re-records it onto a full 4/4 bar. Now from this point I can then do a full 4/4 bar bass line over this. Sorry, I got to loop it. Right, so I've demoed it a bit. I sort of vaguely know what I want, haven't really sorted it out, but like, sorry for any ropiness. So now, from this point, I can use the extension insert button as an on and off cut for this. So that can cut it in and out. Same with the on and off of the effects. Now, also this, sorry, just to re-explain to you, if I have, and this, I'll do a subsequent video on this, but if I have the insert button pressed, then what I can do is I can go to the DJ Effects tab, and from the DJ Effects tab, if I apply this filter, then it'll apply to the loop. And vice versa, obviously you can add on all your other stuff there. But so yeah, that's an effect that's just purely on the loop. Okay, so that gives you a bit of a rundown of how to do basic looping on the 62. You can use any of these buttons as the arm buttons, but what's best in mind is to learn the tools a little bit first. Now, from this point when you've got a loop, there's a couple of other things that you can do. You can use the depth dial here, and if at points in the loop you quiet it down, you can like either get it to do fades of going, and that'll record that fade into it. So on this bar, or you can use it as a cut on and off. So it cuts in and out bits of the loop, so you can put other bits back in if you want. Such related. Okay, and then from that point, obviously, then we can use like the depth dial to slow stuff down a little bit. So, okay, so that's one kind of looping done, and I'll go on to explain another kind of looping now in a subsequent video. Cheers.